Hey y'all, it's Transvisibility Day 2025 and it's a huge thunderstorm going on outside. I started the day by calling my state senator's cell phone number and reminding her that I exist and that I live in her district. That is State Senator Sonia Halpern, who voted with Republicans this session to end transgender care in Georgia prisons. This is personal to me. I'm what I refer to, and what, not just me, I didn't make up the words, a materially discursive scholar. And part of that is, what that means is I walked into prisons in 2009 and I told people that it was okay for them to exist. And that was a discursive discussion. That was a language discussion where they started being able to talk about being queer. And the material aspect of that is, years later, they themselves organized and filed a class action lawsuit to gain their rights for proper medical care. About a year and a half ago, one of my former students wrote me a letter and said that he lives in a women's prison, has a full beard, and was going by his last name. Now, inside the prison, the officers, the staff, everything, they're supposed to call people, now it's dehumanizing, but they're supposed to call people inmate and then their last name. But since he has grown a full beard and been on testosterone, the staff and the officers go out of their way to refer to him as his given birth name, which is more feminine than his last name, and which he does not prefer. And they are not supposed to ever call him. So many of my students told me story after story after story of the judge in their sentencing, giving the justification for those long, long sentences, was that they didn't show any remorse. They were too stoic. They didn't act feminine enough, so they were too stoic. So therefore, they didn't show remorse. So therefore, that was the justification for the long sentences. Masculine presenting people with that are not cisgender males are the second highest incarcerated rate per capita, second only to black men in America. They exist. The queer community has ignored them. They exist. And I want you to see them. And I want you to know that God loves them. And they are not bad people. So they're some of the best people. And you might scoff at that. But I've been there. I've interacted with them. And I've interacted with a lot of y'all. if you live in Georgia, please let your Democratic senators know, especially Elena Parent and Sonia Halpern, that transgender people have always existed and that we have been murdered and erased throughout history. Now, I didn't make that up. We have documented proof. It's in many books. It's Trans Visibility Day. And the government is doing all they can to erase transgender people. And the state of Georgia is doing all that they can to erase incarcerated transgender people. Some of the most marginalized human beings on the planet. But they exist. And God loves them.